Greetings, my fellow giant robot enthusiasts and enjoyers of short fiction. It is I, a goat, and I'm here to talk to you today about Fox Tales, the collection stories of the Fox Patrol. But what is the Fox Patrol, you may ask? Simple. They are stories that were originally published in Shrapnel magazine. Shrapnel being the premium BattleTech magazine where you, yes you, can read about the stories of the inner sphere without having to sit down and read a full novel. It's a collection of short fiction, diegetic information, as well as game materials, be it tactical readouts, scenarios to use in chaos campaigns, as well as other fun missions for you to play in any type of situation, be it small or big. Yes, that's Shrapnel Magazine, where you can pick it up at your local Amazon retail provider, game store if they buy them or something. I'm not sure if they put them out like that. Or you can go on to Drive-Thru RPG and get a glorious PDF where you can read it for only a couple dollars. Yes, a couple dollars. This is a massive deal for you. And this is also where we are massively awesome start of our stories for the Fox Patrol. Yes. But being a non-sponsored advertising for cool BattleTech stuff, yes, this is where the Fox Patrol originated from. By Brian Young, the author of A Question of Survival, as well as the short story found in the BattleTech Alpha Strike box set, and I believe Honor Gauntlet or Honor something. I'm forgetting the name of the story, but it's a Jade Falcon tale. But yes, Brian Young is back, and he's back again with another banger. Because with Fox Patrol, you have a collection of about 5 or 6 short stories that are just all around the definition of fun. Yes, indeed, these are some fun tales, and each of those tales follows Katie Farrow, a young, adoptive daughter of a mech tech in the middle of nowhere. Yes, the middle of nowhere that's not the periphery, but the Lyrian Commonwealth, apparently, during pretty much the Dark Ages. But one day, while she's just out and about gazing forward on the stars like Luke Skywalker at the beginning of New Hope or whatever insert young person protagonist who is just kind of about to go on the hero's journey, she's finds a kit fox, like buried under and like overtaken by some trees that's been abandoned for who knows how long. And with her knowledge of how to repair mechs from basically living and repairing them for her whole life since she was like a kid, she gets it back up and running, but just in time for some random bumpkins from the town over who's also found some old mechs but have not repaired them as well, are raiding her own town, and now she's got to defend it and start up her own mercenary company just like she dreamed of. And that's pretty much the start of the story. From there, we pretty much follow Katie as she just kind of rises up from basically just being a single person who wants to be a merc to, oh, I have some people who work for me now, and I've got like actual kind of credentials and experience to, okay, I've got a spaceship, I've left my home planet for the first time, I've done some jobs. To like, crap, we got hit on with a bad job where they didn't pay us, to like, oh no, I was working with a broker and he screwed some people over and now they're going to run away. And basically all these kind of just stories that you would not necessarily hear about in like a proper like big novel, because they're just kind of, they're low end. These are stories about people on the ground. These are not like huge game-changing princes. There's not the leader of a con, or not a con, a clan, or anyone who's going to be like the person in charge of a giant natural like country. These are people just trying to basically get their money and just live out what they think is going to be a great life, or just get their paycheck essentially. And that, I think, is one of the biggest positives to these stories. Is like that grounded nature gives you a great sense, especially if you are new to BattleTech, like of where like the feel of the universe is. Like, what is it like to live and try to exist as a mercenary or just as a normal person in this universe? Like, what is it like to just try and be someone who decides to just be a mercenary one day? What is it like to just try and do this? How do you learn about all this stuff? How do you improve, and how do you just get through all that? I think that kind of really sells the great aspect of this story, because it's a story that can easily resonate with anybody because you have two aspects. One, the fan aspect, I think really plays into this is Katie. She likes mercenaries and she thinks mechs are cool. So obviously she's the BattleTech fan. She's us who wants to be a mercenary, wants to be a pilot and just go around being a cool, like generally I forget what's the alignment chart thing, like just pure good kind of person, not really a like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do some dirty jobs kind of thing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna fight some pirates, I'm gonna do all the kind of good mercenary sorts of things. Not gonna go super desperate. Um, and then you have the kind of coming of age, like person who has got the chance to do the thing that they've always wanted, be it like in Katie's case, it's being a mercenary. In whatever like your own case that you can basically relate to, it's being like being a football person, starting your own business, all that kind of jazz, and kind of resonates really easily with anyone who's like wanted to try to do something or has thought about doing it. Because Katie has got that whole like gumption, yeah, I'm gonna go do it, I'm gonna do it right, and I'm gonna be awesome. And she does. She enjoys what she does and that kind of enjoyment, even when the less than stellar parts of her life go on, never really get you down. So you have like these stories that just kind of resonate, a very fun, very easily digestible sort of thing. Like this is like the perfect story for somebody, or the perfect collection for someone who either wants to get into reading more fiction but doesn't really have a whole lot of time, or just wants to see what the feel of like somebody from the ground up uh, is like in BattleTech. What is it like to be the random like red shirt merc company? Even though I don't think they're red shirt levels of doomed, but like someone who's just not like not the Wolves Dragoons, not like Clan Sea Fox, not a Davian like military regiment, just somebody who's just super low end, um, trying to go for it, and how they exist in these kind of like context and universe. And I think it works really well. It works really well to get you into the universe. It works really well as just a fun collection of stories that you don't have to spend a whole lot of time with. It's not a novel like, that's dense and like you really have to sit here and flip through. It's like, oh, okay, I can read one story or two stories in about like 30, 40 minutes, depending on how fast you read. Um, and you can just get through these pretty good, and they're just fun, good, digestible tales that kind of can easily enthrall you and kind of get you just like, yeah, yeah, go for it, Katie, or oh no, you done kerfuffled. Um, so yeah, I really enjoy these little stories. I'm not really gonna go super big on spoilers because it's a bunch of short stories, and I kind of give you the gist of a couple of what those stories be like. I guess the close I see is you like I said, you see her find the Kit Fox, build it, fight some things, do some stuff on her own planet as she builds herself up, and then she goes to Galatea and has an adventure there, and then she just has a couple jobs that we follow her on as well. And her basically her as she grows her company, you see the people who join in with her. Like her first two people are this couple of dudes who are like they're together and but they're kind of like thumbs, so she can't really get them to help her repair the mechs. Um, and but there's fun like small interplay of like, oh yeah, they're in a relationship. That's cool. Or at least that's kind of how Katie takes it. And then you later on you get to see their wedding. It was like, oh yeah, that's nice, and it has a fun little bit in the story. And that's all on the Galatea one. Not gonna get any spoilers because again, these are too short of a stories to really say anything without making them in. But it's fun. It was also nice to see that, like I said, the little bit of inclusiveness with the two like male bleh, I cannot speak and put words to my mouth, but the two dudes who are together, the gay dudes, yes, the homosexuals, my people, my fellow LGBTQ plus people. It was cool to see them in there. 'Cause, hey, I liked seeing my peoples in there. So that was cool. And then the wedding bit, like I said, there's something fun with there, as well as kind of like it also helps diegetically like throw in some information. 'Cause it's like, oh hey, where are they having the wedding? Oh, here I can expect some lore that's kind of like, oh, that's neat. So like everything kind of comes around and like is used to kind of bridge you into this place through like common context. It's like, oh, okay, like you're piloting a mech, but like you still like have to go to a wedding or like your coworkers or whatnot. And then like you learn about like the cathedral or like whatever place someone is like interested in or a bar that you're trying to pick up some information on like a job or whatever. So it kind of grounds you in um, what the context of the universe is, or like just what a place's history can be through having those kind of more normal like places instead of the bang bang shoot 'em up. It's like it's a battlefield sort of thing. Which I think is a really fun way to kind of get you into the universe as well as like show the small aspects of like culture that can exist in an outside of like a sort of big novel context. Sometimes books or like novels because they're trying to like tell a broad like conflict or like focusing on these certain elements don't really get to I guess tell you like about like say oh yeah here's something specific about this particular building that meant to this culture and this is what they did with it. You don't really get that sort of information. You maybe will get it in a source book, but it's more broad. And here it's like kind of like natural is like you have your friend who's like the nerd about the places you go and you learn stuff by being there and listening to them talk. So I think that's kind of the big takeaway of this novel is if you want to have some fun little short stories that you can really get into and have a good time as well as like maybe if you have like a younger child who's interested or like you want to introduce some of your friends like I think this works well as like a good like anyone who wants to read BattleTech can get into it. Like be it someone who's younger who wants to follow like uh, somewhere around their age or whatnot. Like you can find like a 16-year-old and hand it to them, and they'll enjoy this story because they could envision themselves into it and imagine like, oh yeah, I'm when I get up, I get to be all the cool stuff. Or somebody who's like older and like, oh, that's cool. You get to kind of see all the stuff. And I remember my own self kind of growing and doing all these things and feeling like that. I mean, this is not the most in-depth thing because again, these are short stories, but they are very good at kind of hitting that itch, like everyone can enjoy it, as well as kind of just getting you into it if you're new. I think that really hands it well to being something that I would highly recommend. Like this and a Redemption Rights, like are the two current novels that I say are the novels to recommend to new people because they ground you in the universe. Like they give you context for like, okay, what is this? How does this work? And give you examples of like normal stuff in the universe of the crazy sci-fi nonsense. I think that works really well on introducing everyone to something. Because sometimes like the big epic story of like the cool like mega huge mercenary company could kind of become a bit bogged down or is just too much for some people, especially like someone who either is not super into the universe yet. Maybe they're just trying out the game. Like having a novel trilogy, uh, or like quadrilogy or duology. That's the word. That's when you have two books. Is not the best. Like a good, decent standalone novel or short story collection can really help a lot of people when they're just trying to try out something because it's less of a time investment to just read through like a couple short stories or a singular kind of standalone novel than it is like say like you read from the very beginning all the way up to just to the first novel to the most newest one. Like it kind of is a bit of a hard sell for people who are not even sure if they are really into the like storytelling aspect of BattleTech yet. But yeah, like uh that's kind of what I think these two stories work really well as is like they're good for new people who maybe they're not too familiar with the setting, maybe they've read some stuff on Sarna, and they want to just get a quick little thing and see how they feel, see if they want to look into more of the fiction. And after they've read this, they can expand outwards and check out some other books. They can then start reading some of the older stuff, some of the newer stuff, and vice versa. Because again, giving you something that's kind of smooth and easy for your first ride in really helps a lot of people with kind of just being interested and then expanding outwards. Because if you try to go for the big, huge things, or like the trilogies or duologies or whatever, sometimes because of like how big they can be intimidating. Whereas like, oh hey, it's a short story collection, it's not super expensive, you only have to buy one book, or you can buy like a single PDF for like $2. Um, that kind of makes it a bit easier for people to kind of feel their way into like the universe or just the novels in general. I guess in that context, because people can play the game and just not even want to care about the story. They can be like, oh yes, I'll use all the mechanics, but I'll like it's space medieval times even further. Like that's anyone can do whatever because some people just don't care about lore and they just want to play mechanics because they like dice rolling or whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think this is a really great little novel. I think anyone can really enjoy this. So I would highly recommend you check it out. And there will be links to where you can get it down below as normal. And now I'd like to thank my patrons, yes, the glorious folks who help try to create. And now I'd like to thank my lovely patrons, yes, those lovely folks who help make me be able to more easily talk about BattleTech stuff and other various assorted projects, be it trying to eventually do some painting videos, webcomic things, or other assorted creative endeavors that I wish to undertake. Yes, those lovely patrons, who you can be too if you just signed up down below by clicking the link. But first, let's give thanks to our lovely building blocks patrons, Coral Levin, 1712, and Julian Thorne. Yes, I'd like to thank those two for being the first two patrons to sign up for my Patreon and just being awesome people, just the coolest peeps. Thank you so much, and you too can sign up down below, as I previously said, for a singular dollar. Yes, only a singular dollar, and you get access to basically a bunch of art that is in the process of being made, eventually some comic pages, as when I get around to making some webcomics material, as well as helping me to produce and make these videos. Currently, you can't really get video put up earlys on there unless you are making a certain amount or you have like a specific type of Patreon. So currently it's only artwork, but basically all of the commitment towards that goes towards helping me produce and make these videos. So any and all support is greatly appreciated, and I hope that you and everybody else has enjoyed this video. And if you liked it, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, like if you've read Fox Patrol and whether or not you've enjoyed it, or other novels that you think would be great or good for new readers, or just what were some of your favorite tales from Shrapnel. Like, give people some recommendations for good issues of Shrapnel so they can get some nice short fiction or little tidbits for various games to use. Yeah, pop those down below and kind of just show some love towards like your cool bits of BattleTech that are like on a smaller scale. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you subscribe and look forward to our next couple of videos. I'm going to be working on another novel thing real soon. I might do a poll that is going to be like what the next book is. Alongside that, I'm currently, after this one is done, I'm going to be focusing on trying to create a painting video. So we will have the cool Hell's Horses scheme that you might have seen on my Twitter or going around the BattleTech sphere, of how to do the cool flame effects on the Hell's Horses Iota Galaxy, as well as a easy-to-do scheme for the Valerian Commonwealth. But yeah, look forward to those being made whenever. I don't have a set date because time is annoying and things get in the way of trying to do this, but that's why we have the Patreon, so eventually that things do not get in the way of being able to make cool BattleTech stuff. But yes, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you in the next video, or the comments, or whichever. But yes, I hope you have a good one.